Hello, everybody. How's it going out there? Um, so it is me, Steve. JD is having some technical issues. Oh, there he is, and there he is. And JD had some technical issues. As I mentioned, if we aren't having technical issues, it's not Rebel Rock Radio.
Exactly.
Well, let's jump in the chat and see who's with us. So far, we have CEO Star Wars Non-Toxic Alliance. How are you doing? And we have Steve Spawn.
Steve!
How's it going, man? We have the Smirking Bear. The computer was squirreling, definitely.
Yeah, definitely was squirreling today. It had an attitude. And yeah.
And there's Matt. What's up, Matt? Good to see you again. All right. Well, we are up to episode number 194. Tonight we will be discussing our thoughts on the premiere of Skeleton Crew.
Eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
Eventually.
We will get to it. But we do have some news that we will go over. We actually have a lot of news tonight.
I have a lot of news.
That's to make up for last week when we had like next to nothing. And there's Spencer. How's it going, man?
Spencer.
And then in addition to the news, we do we should have some show and tell.
Yes.
I'm sure you probably have some. That's good.
Oh yeah.
Cool. But before we get into the news, what you been up to this week, other than last night? We'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. Other than that, just a nice kickback, kind of relaxing weekend. Trying to get in a routine before Christmas starts, because Christmas is going to be chaos, especially for me. Because for work purposes, I'm usually on standby and I have to go to work anytime they call. So just kind of enjoying the downtime and the quiet weather and that kind of thing for now until that decides to rear its ugly head. And so I mean, not a whole lot, which sometimes is good.
Yep.
Sometimes it's nice to not have to have a hectic weekend and not do a whole lot.
Yeah.
What about you?
Not much of anything. I mean, looking for work. What else? Didn't go to the movies this year or this
week.
I went to the movies this year a lot. Actually, no. What did I? No, I didn't go to the. No, I did not go to the theater this year. God, said it again. Man, I need some coffee.
I did.
No.
Speaking of movies this week, I did actually get to catch Beetlejuice finally.
Oh, okay. What do you think of that?
I was fine with it up until the church sing-along thing, and then I instantaneously lost interest. I was like, "Nope, killed it for me."
I mean, yeah. Overall, it was fine. I mean, it's not going to make my top 10 list of the year.
It was. I mean, like I said, up until that point, aside from that part of it, it was all right. It was okay, but nothing like the first one. First one was still the best, and yeah. As soon as I saw that, if that was something that I would have saw, like say, the first 15 minutes of the show, I honestly probably would have turned it off because the only reason I stayed and watched it through the rest of that part was just to see how the whole thing concluded. And one thing that I was hugely disappointed in. I'm glad they brought back half of or not even half, really. They brought back most of the original cast. The only thing I was really upset about was we didn't get to see either Gina Davis or Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
That was weird not seeing them because they were like the main part of, they were the main part of the original. and they were just remanded to, oh well, they found a loophole and moved on. I'm like,
Yeah, uh, I don't buy into that.
I mean, I could see at the very least, I could see like Alec Baldwin maybe, but Gina Davis, I'm like, come on, you couldn't found a way to work her into it somehow.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And maybe she didn't want to, maybe he didn't want to, maybe they just weren't interested in the project. But I mean, that's yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No,
So
it just it. I mean, it was fine, but nothing to make me jump up and down.
yeah.
Um, I mean, I watched some stuff on streaming. I did. I actually watched a lot of TV on streaming last week.
Hmm.
Um, what did I watch? I watched and this is actually, I wrote all this in my newsletter last week. But did we talk about Creature Commandos at all?
I think you mentioned it.
Okay, so
I
yeah,
think you mentioned it.
I watched the premiere of that. That came out well. Um, yeah, that actually came out on Thursday. So maybe I had just mentioned it as it's coming out. But yeah, it
I think
premiered
you
on
said. I think
Thursday.
you said. I think what. I think actually when we talked about it was yesterday, which you said we'll get to, but it had to
Oh,
do with the kicking off point for James
yeah.
Gunn's DC Universe. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I did watch the premiere. It was two episodes. Um Interesting enough. Um I watched the quote unquote mini series of Battlestar Galactica.
Hmm.
The one that came out in 2003.
Hmm.
I watched that because I'm like, I wonder if I want to watch the show.
I watched the
You know?
original, and when they did a remake, I was like,
Yeah, I watched some of the original, but I watched this miniseries. It was good. I'll
no.
probably at some point check out the series, but I mean I've got a lot of other stuff
Hmm.
that I can watch. Um, there was a show I binged over the weekend that I can't remember whether or not I had ever heard of it, but I just like came across it on, I want to say it was Max, HBO Max. It was called Gotham Knights, and it only lasted one season, understandably so. And it was 13 episodes. And the premise was Batman was murdered, and the entire season is basically trying to solve his murder. And it wasn't horrible. It wasn't the whole most horrible thing I've ever watched, but it wasn't great. It was not great. I can see why it only lasted one season.
Hmm.
Um, Other than that, I did a rewatch of Batman Returns because it's holiday season.
Oh, why wouldn't you? It's all. I mean, is it a Christmas movie? I mean, could be.
Yeah, it is a Christmas movie.
Hmm.
So let's see. What do we got here so Spencer likes Creature Commandos. Makes sense.
Very cool.
Bear is on a House of the Dragon binge.
Mm,
That is it's Game of Thrones, isn't it?
yes, that's a
Okay. Yeah, I
prequel to.
never watched
It's
Game of
actually.
Thrones, so
It's like a prequel to the
okay,
Game
yeah,
of Thrones series.
I
Yeah.
never watched Game of Thrones, so I
Mhm.
didn't
My girlfriend was hugely into it, and I watched like the first season, and I enjoyed it. But then I think some other
keep
stuff
going. I
came
need to
out,
close
and
my door.
I think some other things came out, and I ended up not finishing my watch of the series. But one of these days I would love to go back and actually watch it from beginning to end. But that is a whole lot of TV to be watching.
Matt wants to know how the Dune series on Max is. Bear said that he finds it interesting. I'm actually one episode behind. I had forgotten that it came out, that the third episode came out, but I've been watching it and I really like it. Um, The visuals on it are amazing.
Hmm.
But yeah, I really like it.
Well,
Um,
the visuals on the new movies are cool. I got done with episode one. I need to watch episode two, or
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
part two. I need to watch part two, and I thought about watching that because I actually have a buddy at work who's watching it, and he says it's a very good series. He really likes it. He thinks it's a very good series.
Cool, cool, cool. So let's see. With that in mind, I guess we can jump into our news segment, which I still can't remember what we renamed it. So for now, I guess we're just going to keep calling it Nerdgasm until I remember. What I should do is go in Discord and look at our conversation on it because I
Mhm.
I could have
We
swore we
had
came up with. I'm not
we
going to do it.
had we had a bunch of different names come up for it and a bunch of different
We did,
suggestions. So
yeah,
yeah,
and
if somebody in the chat remembers it, please throw it out there.
yeah, yeah. So like I said, we do actually have quite a bit of news this week.
Mm,
The first bit of news has to do with a TV show coming out on HBO Max that I actually had not known they were doing until I saw this press release.
hmm. That's
Um,
that's
in
crazy
regards
because
to the
there's been a
casting.
lot of talk about it. There's been a lot of talk and a lot of
Okay,
like behind the scenes information going on about it.
yeah. So if you're not aware, like me, the HBO Max is doing a TV series based on Harry Potter. Apparently, it is supposed to be a faithful adaptation of the book series.
Hmm.
Um, so that will be interesting. They have not found any casting for Harry, Ron, or Hermione.
Hmm.
But so the first piece of news that popped up was that they might have found the person that's going to be playing Professor Severus Snape.
Mm.
Um,
And
and
there's some interesting information on this. So this is a rumor that came out, and I don't know how valid that rumor is. And there's never been, I don't think they have really like confirmed any solid casting on any of the characters yet. It was just rumored that there's certain people that they're wanting to play certain characters, and they're reaching out to certain people to play those characters, but we have not heard concrete any kind of concrete casting information yet.
so yeah, so the Severus Snape one, the actor has not officially accepted the role, but the actor that I guess they've got in mind is I'm gonna totally butcher this name, so I apologize, sir.
I don't think I
Uh,
could do it either.
Papa Ezadu. Um, he is from a show called Gangs of London. Never heard of it. Never. I don't know this guy, truthfully. Um, so I don't have an opinion on whether or not he will make a good Severus Snape. But they also have there's a report that Albus Dumbledore, at least
Hmm.
they're wanting to cast Mark Rylance, who I only know from Ready Player One.
He did you watch okay, did you watch Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern?
Yeah.
He played what's the guy that was the leader of the Green Lantern Corps that ended up becoming he ended up taking the Ring of Fear.
Oh, Sinestro.
Yeah, I wanted to say
I thought
Imperiax,
that
and I
was
knew that
Mark
wasn't right.
Strong. I think that was Mark Strong. That's not Mark. That's not Mark Rylance.
Which one? Okay, which
Um,
okay, maybe I saw a different one then. Maybe I'm thinking of a different one because I saw that guy was the one that they were looking about. They were looking at offering it to him.
Oh
as
well,
well.
I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I like that actor.
Yeah,
He is
oh yeah,
actually
he's a
in
good
the
actor.
Dune. He is in the Dune series. So
Mm,
yeah,
hmm
he's good. But Mark Rylance, like I said, I know him from Ready Player One. I'm looking at his filmography. He was in Dunkirk, but I don't really remember him from that movie.
Oh, okay,
Any?
okay, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah, yeah. The one that I saw was they were going to offer it to. They were also looking at Mark Strong to possibly play Dumbledore.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. So that's why it was confusing to me because yeah, like I said, I saw the report that said they wanted Mark Strong to play that character.
Oh, you
So
know
that's
what?
why.
The other press release that I got
Hmm
with another acting thing actually does say Mark Strong is up for the role.
hmm
Okay. Um, and then the next one is for the role of Hagrid. They are eyeballing Brett Goldstein, who was in Ted Lasso. Um, and that could be interesting.
hmm
Ted Lasso is actually the only show that I know him from. Um, but he played Roy Kent in Ted Lasso. And if you yeah if you've ever
If you're
watched
from,
Ted Lasso, actually, you know what? He was also I did not. Yeah, now that they mention it, I it does I can kind of see that he played Hercules in Thor: Love and Thunder.
oh, so he's a big guy.
Yeah. So well, in Ted Lasso, he wasn't that big.
Uh,
I mean, he was athletic.
hmm.
Smarty Bear says that he is looking forward to the Harry Potter series reboot.
hmm yeah. Well, I'll let you get through the rest of the. Do you have more casting people that you've heard of?
No, that's all I got.
Mm.
At
I've
least
heard
for at least for the Harry Potter thing.
the other one that I heard that was of note that I'm sure you'll know who I'm talking about is Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, I know who. Yeah,
I have heard that they are considering him to play Voldemort.
I could see it actually.
Oh, I can see it too, 100%. I can
Yeah,
see. I think
he's
he'd
a
play
great
it.
actor.
I think he would play a great Voldemort, and I think if they do like Mark Strong and him and Cillian Murphy, the battle between the two of them, I think would be very interesting. I think it'd be cool to see because I think it'd be, yeah, I think it would be more book true. Now, see, I've read all the books, and when they said they were doing a book accurate recreation. See, I liked the movies. I really didn't have too many issues with the movies, other than there was a few plot holes that were like, how do they deal with that? And there was a lot of stuff that was missed. There was a lot of stuff that wasn't included in the movies, which is, I mean, when you have a movie adaptation of books, that's not uncommon to happen.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. I mean, it's not uncommon for those
I
things to
mean,
happen.
you run into the same thing with comic book movies.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, they literally had to say when they created the MCU, they literally had to look at it and go, "This is not going to go like the comics will. We're creating a whole separate universe for these characters, how they're developed, how they were made, and this is going to be a whole separate thing." And so, yeah, that I mean, it happens, but the fact that they're rebooting it, like I said, the original movies, I like the original movies the way they were. It's just that a lot of people were like, with everything that they missed, everybody was like, "Well, I wonder what they would happen if they made a TV series that was book accurate and had every detail and stuff like that." And I'm going, it still won't have every detail, but they're going to try to do everything they can to make it more more true to the source material. Which really, like I said, the only thing that was wrong with the original movies, in my opinion, is that they just there's certain things they had to cut out because of time restraints, because the movies would be so long if they did. I mean, the Goblet of Fire, for crying out loud, is a huge book. I mean, it's massive, and it's the biggest. I think it's the long. I think if I remember correctly, it has the most pages of all seven books. And for those of you who don't know, yes, there was only 7 books and 8 movies. But anyway, um, and it would be it would be huge. It would be a long movie to try to include everything that was in it. But there's a lot of things that they don't include, like Severus's backstory and I mean, there's a huge list of things that you missed. Severus's backstory for one, there's a lot of it that was cut out. Yeah, Pease was cut out of it, which was a big which his role in the show was very his role in the show, he has roles not only just being an annoying poltergeist but doing other things as well. And there's a lot of stuff about like um the the backstory between the Gaunt family and Tom Riddle's family and how they all interact, and what the situation between them and like Harry's family and stuff like that. And there is a lot of there's just a lot of details, some stuff that they kind of left out. And like I said, for time restraints. So the TV show is supposed to address all of that. So
Cool. So for those of Harry Potter fans out there, that should be very exciting.
mhm.
Um, by the way, I did find the chat between you and I on the name of the segment,
Mhm.
and while I remember the conversation, I'm not sure that I'm so crazy about what we had come up with.
You've changed your mind since then.
Yeah, well, here's what we had come up with.
Nerd shenanigans.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think that was the only one. I think there was more than that.
Well, that was the last one that we mentioned.
Oh,
But
okay. Okay.
so those of you out in the chat, and if you check this out on the replay and are in our Discord, um, shout out some suggestions for our news segment because we
Mhm.
need a better name than Nerdgasm. Anyway, more news. Next piece of news that I have is an update on the Fallout TV show. Season 2 has started production. And that's pretty much the gist of the press release. But there are some out on the internet, there are some photos, backstage photos and whatnot. And Walter Goggins is returning as the ghoul. And from what I am looking at on this press release, pretty much the entire cast is returning. Entire cast from season 1. And I'm assuming there will be some extras, but yeah, that's good news. We knew that season 2 was going to happen.
Mhm.
Nerdigans. Matthew says nerd boner time. I'm gonna say no on that one. But yeah,
It's a
so
good thought, but we might have to pass on that.
Fallout season 2 has started production. So that's short but sweet update there.
Awesome.
Let's see, what else did we have? I'm trying to
Uh,
find everything. I'm trying to
Ahsoka
find
season
everything on my
2.
list here that is not Star Wars related. Oh, there it is. Okay. So this one, you probably heard about this one already, but I I did want to go ahead and mention it, but in addition to, and this is regarding the movie Avengers Doomsday, we know that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back as Doctor Doom, but now we have a report that Chris Evans will be returning for the movie, but there is no confirmation that he is reprising his role as Captain America, or if he is going to be playing a different character like Robert Downey Jr. is. But we also have some news that Avengers Doomsday will be directed by the Russo brothers. So that's actually good news because They've done some really good stuff.
I wonder if they're going to bring. I wonder if since they brought Captain Carter in, I wonder if they're going to bring in him in the mech from the What If series
I don't know.
of the Hydra Stomper.
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll
I
see.
mean, I mean, they brought her in. Why not him?
Yeah,
Be kind of
it would be
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a ways out before that movie even, um, yeah, before that movie even thinks about seeing the light of day. Uh, but yeah, so that's some good news here. To see Chris Evans will be back. That'll be, yeah, Barry. Maybe he'll show up as Johnny Storm.
He'll magically get his skin back.
Well, I don't know. He died in Deadpool, but anyway.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
okay. So now, other than all that, we do have some Star Wars news to discuss. We have an update on season 2 of Ahsoka. Dave Filoni has confirmed that he is writing it, and as of right now, he is the only person writing it so far. But he's working with Rosario, and they are working on season 2. It will. Let's see. Of course, season 1 left with Sabine, Rin, and Ahsoka stranded on Peridia. And then they had the big statue that Balin Skull was looking at that they noticed. Um,
Was the father?
yeah, so I
Hmm.
guess there is some concept art out there that Filoni drew up, and it does show. Oh, that's interesting. I think it might be all 3 of them. Is that really concept, or maybe that's actually from the show? Hang on, let me share this.
Okay,
Uh, maybe. What
maybe,
the hell?
possibly.
Oh, I got it in the wrong damn. Wait a minute. How come it won't let me share that screen? Hang on. Why is it not letting me
I'm
share
glad
that
I'm not
screen?
the only one having technical difficulties tonight.
No, because it's not in Chrome. That's why. Oh,
Oh
different
goodness.
browser open. Okay. Maybe we did see this in the original in the season 1. Do you remember seeing this one?
I think that is concept art from season 1 though, because that's like at the very end when he's standing
Okay.
on the hand
Well,
and
that's
they're kind
that's
of
the
looking up.
brother there.
Yeah, and then
That's the
the
brother.
sister on the left, and then the
Mhm.
father in the middle. Yeah, so yeah,
But
I think that's just reconstituted.
oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. This
Okay,
is the sketch. This is the sketch that he's putting together.
okay.
So that's Sabine and Ahsoka standing on the finger.
Hmm. So they
So
must figure he must be writing it to where they figure out that that's where Balin's going, and they're going after him.
yeah. So that'll be interesting to see them explore that some more.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's good. Good to know that he's working on that, and that we're going to get a season 2. We weren't actually 100% sure on that.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think they're going to kill him off. I do think they're going to recast him. Unfortunately, I think that would be the best way to do it is just to recast him with somebody who would be good in that role. And
Rowan Atkinson.
who?
Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said. Oh goodness.
Oh,
Yeah.
there we go. No, that's not a bad idea. The Rebel Rock Radio Review.
Rebel Rock news review.
Rebel Rock News Review. That might work. That
See,
might work.
there you go, Matthew.
That's a thought.
Yeah.
Um, so wait a minute. Why? Oh, damn it! I've got the wrong link here. Hang on. This is what happens when you do this like really quick before we start the show. Um,
I'm telling you, I'm glad I'm not the only one that was having technical difficulties today.
Okay, so here's our next piece of Star Wars news. Um, Regarding an upcoming, hopefully, upcoming Star Wars movie, director James Mangold and his co-writer Beau Willimon are nearly completed with a draft of their Star Wars script, which is the Dawn of the Jedi um, era movie.
Nice.
So James Mangold was talking to Deadline while he was promoting his latest film, the Bob Dylan biopic, A Complete Unknown, which I'm looking forward to watching.
Hmm.
Um, but he said they're basically almost finished with the draft. So that will be a good first step in a highly anticipated Star Wars project, at least to me. Um, I'm looking forward to a Dawn of the Jedi movie. I'm yeah.
Hmm.
So that's good that they're a little further along with that. Here's another one you've probably seen on social media the last couple of days. But it's an update for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Jerry Allen White has been cast to voice Rata the Hutt. If you're not familiar, Rata the Hutt was the baby Hutt from the Clone Wars movie, and he is the son of Jabba the Hutt. So what that tells us is that Rata the Hutt is going to be in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. So that will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see a grown up Stinky. That's what Ahsoka called
I did
him.
hear. I did hear some other rumor news that you might excite you about that as well, Steve.
Oh,
Yes. The whole rabbit hole of Rod of the Hutt, Job of the Hutt, the twins from the Book of Boba Fett, things like that. The rumor that I heard is that because they're bringing Rod of the Hutt in, they may also be bringing Boba Fett into the movie as well, and it may be one of those situations where it's another team up of them trying to defend either get rid of him or something he's doing. They have to team up together to try to stop him or or somehow Boba Fett is going to be involved in whatever the Mandalorian is doing to make sure that Rod of the Hutt doesn't take power of some sort. Was
I'm
the
good with
root?
that.
That's a rumor, of course. That's just some
Yeah, it's a
kind of
rumor. Good rumor. I'm good with it.
yeah. I
But
would love
yeah,
to see. I
so
want to see Boba Fett in the movie. They need to do a. I don't want to say redemption. I dare. I don't want to say that, but they do need to do something to bring him back into the fold.
yeah. So as far as Jeremy Allen White goes, he is most well known for his. Um, he was in the TV show Shameless, and also is in the show The Bear. So if any of you have watched either one of those shows, that's where you might know him from. The only movie that I've ever seen him in was in the Iron Claw movie, which was last year. It was the biopic about the Von Erichs. But yeah, his big claim to fame is really Shameless and The Bear. So
Hey
yeah,
Tina.
Tina, what's up? What's
Hey
up?
Tina.
So yeah, um,
To answer Spencer's question, yes, yes, he's supposed to be. Supposedly, the rumor is that he is showing up as Boba Fett in the movie, so he'll be Boba Fett, the daimyo of Tatooine, or most likely. So,
makes sense.
yeah, but huh?
That makes sense.
Yeah, is it? Yeah, yeah, and what was the other question? Yeah, so that was the only one, and I do agree with that. What Smirking Bear said. It says Ahsoka needs to show up at the end and say "stinky" to him and put him back in his place.
Heck yeah,
That would be awesome.
absolutely. Call him Stinky.
Yeah.
Um, okay, last bit of news that I have, I think. Yeah, this is my last one. Also Star Wars related. I saved all the Star Wars stuff for the end.
Mhm.
This is a news. This is the press release about Marvel Comics. I think we might have mentioned this um, earlier in the year. It's regarding a comic book called Star Wars: A New Legacy. And essentially, what it is, it's like a 10th anniversary anthology comic book thing. And so it's been almost 10 years since Marvel took Star Wars comics back over. And so they're celebrating with some stories about some well-loved comic book characters, and they're bringing back some very well-known comic creators to write these. So it's so basically the headline is Star Wars reunites legendary creators for new Marvel project. So Charles Soule is coming back for a story called The Empire's Most Powerful Gather. Okay. And based off of the summary, it looks like this takes place before the end of the Empire because it's going to have Darth Vader, Grand Moff Tarkin. It's about the galaxy's worst dinner party. Interesting. So Darth Vader, Grand Moff Tarkin, and other Imperial bigwigs are having a dinner party to celebrate the Emperor's rule. And then a heist ensues by none other than Dr. Afra.
Hmm.
So that'll be interesting.
Cool.
The other one, Jason Aaron is bringing back Task Force 99, which is Darth Vader's elite group of stormtroopers. And that'll be interesting. Key character, the Fate of Scar Squadron is what they're calling that one. And last but certainly not least, Kieran Gillen is coming back. Kieran Gillen, if you don't know, did an amazing Darth Vader run, and also did. I'm pretty sure, if I am remembering correctly, he is the comic book creator that actually created Dr. Afra. So Kieran Gillen is returning, and it's going to be it sounds like a buddy cop thing between Darth Vader and Afra. So that'll be interesting. So that is the news for New Legacy #1. Sounds like this is going to be an ongoing series because it says the debut arrives in March 2025, kicking off Marvel's next era of Star Wars storytelling. Interesting. So yeah, come March 2025, we'll see what they have in mind. What
Very cool.
they will be doing. That'll be really cool. And that's all I've got for news.
It's just a small amount of news,
Just a
nothing really
small amount
huge.
of news. That was a lot of news.
That was a lot of freaking news. But like you said, because last week we didn't have nothing.
Yeah.
So
Last week was kind of sad.
yeah.
Okay, so that is all for. Okay, we can get rid of Nerdgasm. I think we Yeah. Let's see what design.
Everybody say
Oh,
goodbye. It may be the last time we use it.
that'd be the last time. That's a good thing. But now it is show and tell time. Show and tell time. Steve.
I think you should just
Um,
keep doing. I think you should just keep doing
yeah, we'll just do that. All right, now we're going to show our thingies.
that. Short thingies.
Now we're going to show our thingies. Okay. I'm assuming you have something
I do.
cool.
Do you have anything?
I do, and I didn't think I was going to have anything, but
Ah.
something came in the mail today that I've been
Ooh.
working on.
Come
I
on. Come
actually
on.
thing is, I actually didn't order this. I mean, I
Oh,
did kind of. I didn't pay for it. Let's put it that way. Well, I guess I kind of did pay for it. I got this
Steve, make it
because
fun.
um, I upgraded my DC Infinite membership.
Yeah.
So because of that, they gave me a free book.
Oh, nice.
Um, and this was kind of related to something we're going to talk about in a few minutes,
Yeah.
but we won't get into that now. I got the Death of Superman 30th Anniversary Deluxe Edition.
No kidding. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I know. Neither did I. Look at that cover, though. That's so.
That is nice.
That's some awesome cover art.
So
Um,
is that the complete from the death to the return?
I don't know. It's got a lot of stuff in here that was not in the comic book. Uh, I don't think this is the return,
Hmm. That's
but
just leads up.
I mean, you've got this iconic thing here.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. Uh-huh.
But that's not the end of it. That's just yeah. There's a lot of stuff in here. Let me see if will the back tell me what all belongs in here. Um, okay, so this special 30th anniversary edition collects Action Comics 683 through 684, Adventures of Superman 496 to 497, Superman 73 through 75, Superman Man of Steel 17 through 19, Justice League America number 69, News Time: The Life and Death of Superman. No idea what that is. And
Hmm.
the 2003 miniseries Superman Day of Doom, which revisits the anniversary of the death of the Man of Steel from the eyes of the citizens of Metropolis.
Hmm.
Very
Oh,
interesting.
that was like a fake newspaper or something they put out that was had to do
That's
with
what
the
it
death of
looks like.
Superman.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It definitely, yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Hmm.
Looking
That is
forward
cool.
to jumping into that. Yes,
That
Bear,
looks
I got a free thingy.
like yes. We like free thingies.
I like free thingies.
Well, as long as they don't come with caveats. I mean,
Yeah,
we don't
yeah.
need all
We don't need any of
we don't
that.
need the weird stuff that comes with it.
Anyway, that's my thingy.
That's your thingy?
That's my
Okay.
thingy.
My thingy, I haven't got one of these in a while. They're actually kind of delayed, and I finally got one in. A little disappointed by it. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue my subscription or not. But I finally got one in, and from what I understand, they're actually sending me another one real soon because the other box was delayed, and I think it was probably for hurricane reasons. So I really can't be mad about that. But what I got my new Star Wars Galactic box from Culture Fly.
Oh, very cool.
Which, for those of you who don't know, this is that box that they send you a bunch of Star Wars things and thingies. So I got a bunch of thingies in a box, and I don't know
Ooh,
what they are. They're just in. I got a cheat sheet, but I'm not going to look at the cheat sheet. So, but I get a bunch of Star Wars thingies in a box. I don't know what comes. It's just a variety of stuff that they send, and this is their like fall box, if you will. So right off the bat, I got a Salacious Rum or Salacious, yeah, Salacious Crumb
ooh, nice.
pen with a nice acrylic pen. Let's see, what else did I get in here? I got. Ooh, Steve, you'll like this one. In fact, next time I see you, I may just give the. I may just. I may have to bring this to you along with my chopper cookie jar.
Oh
Coaster set, Mythosaur
heck yeah!
and Mudhorn
Yeah, I
coaster
need
set.
that.
Yeah. That I think that's going to be yours next time we come down when we come down to
I mean,
visit.
I'll
I think it's going to be.
need it, but yeah,
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm going to put the box down real quick because there's a couple more things in here. Some of them are kind of big. I got a what is this? This is a molded bantam bug. Let me take this out of the box here real quick. This is kind of interesting. Ah, got a little styrofoam. Hang on. My thingy is being a difficult thing. There we go. For everybody who loves the screeching together of, oh, okay, I see it now.
Oh, okay.
It's a glass bantam bug. So that's kind of
Cool.
cool. That's
That
kind of
is kind of
neat.
cool.
Let's see here. Hang on. All right, what else? I'm gonna set that one aside. Okay. Oh goodness. Oh, this might be kind of cool. Hang on. You'll have to. Um, hang on. 1 second. Ah, they brought me. They got me dishes this time, and lots of them.
Dishes.
Yeah, everybody loves doing dishes, right? I got. Oh, this is cool. This is kind of neat. Not gonna lie. Oh, God. This might be. Yeah. Okay. So I got a cereal bowl that has the Tatooine landscape on the outside with the twin suns, but it's got the Sarlacc on the inside.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is
So
pretty nice.
yeah. So yeah, pretty cool. And I don't quite know why, but Steve, you like this? I got a Boba Fett rubber like thingy with it.
Dibs. No.
Yeah, Gibbs. And let's see what else. This is kind of goofy. What the hell is this? Oh, it's a scarf. Okay, I got a Wampa scarf.
Okay.
It's actually his arm that got cut off. Check it out. It's got the red fabric on the end, and it's the
Oh yeah.
Wampa's. It's the Wampa's hand that got cut off. So there's that. And this is kind of cool too. Here we go. Let's see here. Oh, this is kind of neat. I like this. This is a baseball jersey that has the Rancors on the front, and then it has 83 on the back for 1983 for uh for Return of the Jedi when the Return of the Jedi came out. But the baseball jersey has the team is called the Rancors on the front of it.
That's cool.
That's kind of cool. So yeah. So that was my monthly subscription box. It's actually pretty nice.
Do you
Not
have
gonna
the
lie.
link for that? Because I want to put it in the show description.
It's called Culturefly.
Culture Fly. Okay.
Culturefly.com.
Oh, there we go.
And
I think I okay. I've already looked this
mhm,
up. That's yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I've featured these before with the different things and various stuff that they send out with these. And yeah, kind of showcased them before to
Is
show
that
if
the $45 box?
yes, I think so.
Okay.
Well, how many options are there?
What's that?
How many different options are there?
Well, it just said starts at $49.99 per box.
Okay. So I think you have different levels that you can pick for what
Okay.
you want, and I'm
Okay.
not sure. I can't remember what mine is.
Hey, there's a Book of Boba Fett collector's box. What's that come with?
Oh,
Yeah,
what?
I don't need that. Um, cool. That baseball jersey is pretty cool.
That baseball jersey is pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. That's pretty neat. I'll have to give my girlfriend the Wampa arm scarf.
Yeah,
That'd be more her speed.
cool. All
Yep.
right. Well, I guess we are done showing our thingies.
We're done with the thingies.
All right. So, if you are wondering what Rebel Rock Radio has been up to over the past week, we've been doing some content. We put out another episode of the Bat Cave. That is currently still just on the Patreon, or on the Patreon rather. Will soon be on the YouTube channel, but we keep it up on the Patreon so that our patrons have some early access to it. So the newest episode of the Bat Cave is we wrapped up our series on the Arkham video game series and talked about the 2015 game Arkham Knight. So that was a fun little discussion there. And then yesterday, JD and I got together
Finally.
and recorded the first episode of our new series. Oh, come on, man. I'm trying to get the picture pulled up here and it's being slow. And there we go. We recorded the first episode of our new series, Kryptonian Chronicles, where we talked about who is Superman. Basically, we just did a discussion on kind of general info. We did kind of a Superman 101, so to speak. And so that one is on the Patreon, at least for a week or two, possibly. Eventually, it will be on the YouTube channel. That one already has a comment on it, which I found really cool. My friend Dave Brown, who is a patron, obviously, otherwise he wouldn't have been able to see it, left a comment because he is the resident Superman expert. He knows a lot more about Superman than I do. But he had a lot to say about that episode. Liked it overall. But yeah, so we look forward to doing some more Kryptonian Chronicles episodes. In fact, we already have a topic set up for the next one that we're going to do.
And I have homework.
Say again?
I have homework.
You do have homework. So before we record this episode, JD is going to have to do some reading homework. But I'm going to give you a little sneak peek into what that next episode will be. We are going to talk about the new Superman comic, Absolute Superman. Primarily, we're going to talk about issue number 1. And that's the only one I gave him as homework. There is a second issue out, but we're primarily going to focus on the first issue, which is very interesting because the next episode of the Batcave that we're going to be recording is along the same lines. We are going to be doing a discussion of Absolute Batman number 1. So I don't know when we're going to record that, but I know that's what our next topic will be. And then the topic after that, I think we might have already discussed that, and it's going to be on a graphic novel that came out in, what year did that come out? 2011, called Batman Noel. And it's a holiday themed book. So
Batman
so
at Christmas time.
So that's what we've been. And hopefully this week we are going to record our next session of our Star Wars RPG Twilight of Vakanta. We were supposed to do it last week, but something came up in scheduling, and one of the characters could not make it. And we are at a point right now where we cannot continue unless everybody is there. Because it is reaching a very hot point in the story.
Yeah,
And I
very.
need everybody there.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll hopefully be doing that this Thursday, and that will only be available on the Patreon. So if you want to see those, you do have to become a patron. But keep in mind, being a patron is only $2 a month. $2 a
Coffee's
month.
more. Coffee at a gas station is more expensive.
Coffee's more expensive.
Just saying.
Pack of smokes is more expensive.
And we don't give you cancer.
I mean, at this point, a gallon of gas is more expensive.
This is true.
So certainly you can afford $2 a month to help us keep the lights on.
Help us keep paying the StreamYard bill that keeps going
Basically,
up.
we just need it to help pay the StreamYard bill, because those greedy capitalists, man.
Let's not go there.
Anyway,
Some bad stuff
so we
going
do have
around,
our
Steve.
Patreon that you can become a patron of. In addition to all the cool content, extra content that you get, you can get stickers of various flavors. Dang it, get out of here. Okay, you got those, and the blue ones, and the red ones. Did I say flavors? I meant colors. Close enough.
It's a
So you get that.
euphemism, people.
Yeah. You get that, and so you get the stickers, and you get the extra content, and you get your name read on the live stream, which is what we're going to do now. So thank you goes out to Dave Brown, Kelly and Chris Olson, Justin Hensley, Charlie Kirby, Chantel, Matthew, who is in the chat with us tonight, and Steve Spawn, who is also in the chat with us tonight. So thank you for your generous contributions, and keep them coming. I agree, Tina. Don't even get me started.
Sore subject, Tina.
It is
Sore
a very sore
subject.
subject. Okay, here's the thing. If they increased it by a couple dollars or $5 or something like that, no big deal. It almost doubled in price. And we didn't really get any extra there's nothing extra that you're getting for that doubled price.
They basically just got greedy.
They just got greedy. So if you want to help us with that, please consider becoming a patron. So where can you sign up to be a patron? Well, we've got a bio link that you can go to. And if you're watching YouTube, it's right there in front of you. And if you're listening to this, if you're one of the 3 people that listen to our audio podcast version, it is bio.link/Rebel Rock Radio. So go there. And in addition to having a link to our Patreon page, it also has a link to our Discord server, which can get pretty crazy. So if once a week is not enough nonsense for you folks, join the Discord server and you get it every day.
You get 24/7 nonsense if you wish.
24/7 nonsense. That is correct. That also gives you a link to our merchandise site if you want to buy stuff like t-shirts, coffee mugs, all that good stuff. Where else will that take you? Well, that'll take you to everywhere you can find us, as far as the audio podcast and the social media, all that good stuff. And if you can't remember where our YouTube channel is, which you should, because you should already be a subscriber. But it will give you a link to that. So bio.link/Rebel Rock Radio. Go hit that up, and that has all our socials, and most importantly, has a link to our Patreon. Hey, we got another subscriber, by the way.
Sweet. Or to our Patreon?
No, to YouTube.
Oh, nice. We'll take that too.
Yep, yep. We'll take it. We'll take
We'll
it.
take it. We'll take it. We're good with it.
So yeah, anywhere you want to find us, so you can find us at that bio link. And that is it for our housekeeping section. It is now time to talk about, what are we talking about tonight?
Oh yeah, Skeleton Crew.
Skeleton Crew. See, we finally made it. Told you we would.
You'll get there. I mean, come
Told
on.
you we'd get there. We
We
always
get
get
there.
there.
We always get there. Come on, people.
Sometimes it's late, but okay. So last week we got the 2-episode premiere. The first episode was called "This Could Be a Real Adventure." The second episode was called "Way, Way Out Past the Barrier." So, general thoughts. What did you think of it?
I got huge 80s like kid adventure movies. And they said it was Goonies in space, but this wasn't just Goonies in space. I
Mm-hmm.
got vibes from like all kinds of different 80s child adventure movies that I adored when I was a kid, and not just Goonies. It was I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but I know, like I said, I got the Goonies, I got Back to the Future vibes, I got like Stand By Me vibes. I got vibes from, like I said, from a lot of 80s, like some of those old 80s classic childhood adventure movies that probably you and I both know and grew up with, Steve. And I'm sure a lot of the people who are listening, and people that we know. Yeah, Tina says E.T. It's Goonies, E.T., etc. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
100%. I
yeah,
got vibes from all of that, and so far I'm invested. I like it.
yeah.
I mean, like I said, for nostalgia value, it was great. The opening scene was definitely nostalgia for A New Hope. I don't know if you noticed that, but it had like big time New Hope nostalgia vibes, right from the onset when the pirates escape onto the ship and all the people are trying to fire across it. So
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
I
Definitely.
instantly, the first thing I thought of was like, that is like a carbon copy of the opening scene of A New Hope. I mean,
Yeah,
100%. And that wolf looking pirate, I'm like, that guy looks like a just a ugly, weird version of Darth Vader, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I definitely got that nostalgia vibe from it as well. So
yeah.
and
Definitely got the Goonies vibe on that one, and
mhm.
definitely something I'm gonna keep watching.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
this is very very interesting show.
hmm
Um,
And I even kind of got more interested because I thought, oh, they just got lost in space, blah blah blah, whatever. And then we get to the end when they're trying to tell people where they're from, and people say it's a myth or there's something mysterious on that planet, but it's a myth that it even exists. And then the whole thing about the barrier and all that kind of stuff, that started to make more sense. I was like, what does the barrier have to do with it? And what's the deal with this place? Why haven't we seen a suburbia style Star Wars in the past? And that may be why, is because it's a protected planet that's not on the map and nobody knows about. And there could be something going on with the planet itself that could cause even more friction, even more problems for them coming up. So, as they say, the plot thickens. Hey, Millennium Workshop.
hey, how's it going, man? Good to see you again.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm interested to see how that's going to affect the story, how that's going to affect them getting home. Like we've been hearing, Jude Law's character can use the Force, but I really don't think he's a Jedi. In fact, if I had to throw a stab out there, I think he's the pirate from the beginning who couldn't deliver on the credits. That's just,
That's an interesting theory.
yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah, I think that's who
Um,
he is. I think that's who that is. Because he was wearing a mask at the beginning, and then the mask is gone,
right.
and they were starting to beat him up, and he was trying to get away, and yeah, I think
No.
that's who that is for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
Hmm.
sense. I guess we'll find out eventually. But
Hmm.
um, I gotta say, I really hope that how many episodes is this supposed to be? It's supposed to be 8 episodes. I really hope that we get Hondo Anaka in this show.
That would be cool to see him.
I mean, if they're
Because
gonna bring in live action Hondo Anaka,
this would be the show to do it.
this would be the show to do it. Yeah.
Mm. And
Uh,
to talk about and something I heard too, kind of going off in another rabbit hole, but something else I heard too is that because of they're dealing with pirates and the criminal underworld in the show, there's a very good chance that this may have or introduce Rod of the Hutt or somebody associated with Rod of the Hutt, like kind of an Easter egg to say here's Rod of the Hutt or here's what he's about, or
yeah.
introduce him in some way, shape, form, or fashion to kind of set the stage for more of the Mandalorian Grogu movie.
I that really wouldn't surprise me if they did any of that. Um,
Yeah, because I mean, Dave Filoni and John Favreau both have their hands in this show. So it would not surprise me at all that they're actually using the show to kind of kick off some characters and bring them into the fold. You know what I mean? And bring them into what's to come, kind of
yeah.
thing.
So God dang it. Tina says that it's cool to see a Force user who might not be Jedi or Sith. Agreed.
I'd be all right with that. I mean, like I said, I've always thought that having a force using gunfighter would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Having somebody who could use the force, but he uses it to be a gunslinger instead of using a lightsaber or some form of a lightsaber. I think that would be interesting. I think that would be cool to see something like that.
Yeah. Let's see. Smirky Mirror says that he got vibes of the Pirates of the Caribbean, especially
Hmm.
with this. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Tortuga. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Definitely.
Just same vibes as Tortuga and whatnot. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Yeah.
Um. Whoa. Okay. So CEO Star Wars Non-Toxic Alliance. That might be considered a hot take. Better than the Acolyte.
Like I did with the Acolyte Taco, I will I will reserve judgment on that call until the season has concluded.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah. I always want to see the end game because just because we've seen 2 episodes and we're invested now, it looks interesting. We kind of get the premise of what's going on. We've caught that nostalgia. That's great. Now, can they keep it going? Is the story going to be interesting enough to carry the series?
Hmm.
These are the kind of things we wonder. Personally, I know Taco. I know you didn't like the Acolyte or you didn't care for the Acolyte, and I know since Steve and I have gone back and forth talked about it, I liked it overall. I mean, it wasn't my favorite thing in the world, but I liked it overall. And so, whether it's better than the Acolyte, well, I guess, well, like I said, we'll have to wait till the end of the season to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Um, so that's an interesting thought there, Bear. You think he's not a Force user and might be a con artist like the guy from Kenobi? Um, I don't know.
Maybe. I think it would
I'm
be.
certainly not going to disagree with you, um, because I just don't know. We don't really know enough about this guy to make an educated decision
I definitely don't
on
think he's a Jedi, and I don't think he used to be a Jedi either. I mean, I've heard rumors. Yeah, they're just rumors, of course. I've heard rumors that he's potentially a former Inquisitor, or he was being trained by Inquisitors to become a new Inquisitor. Potentially, that's a rumor, of course. Which that would be kind of an interesting take on it, that he was a former Inquisitor who stepped away and decided to become a pirate after the fall of the Empire. That
yeah,
would be kind of cool. That would be kind of interesting. That'd be kind of cool.
that could be
So we'll
interesting.
see. I like you said, I definitely don't think he's a Jedi. I really don't think he's a Jedi.
Oh, that's good, Matt. That's Interesting take.
Yeah. Oh, I have a question for those of you who have watched the show. Steve, you also. There was also another character in the show that had a specific name that references another long time Disney slash childhood series or book. And I can't say too much without giving it away, but I want to see if anybody else caught it. There's an Easter egg they specifically put in the show. There's a character name that they put in the show that has to do with a, like I said, another beloved child's tale.
Hmm. Is it a book I would have read?
I'm sure you've probably seen a version of the show or some telling of the story at some point. Everybody probably has at one point.
Is it High Republic?
No, it's not Star Wars related. Not Star Wars related.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, some. Well, I'll give the chat first crack at that one. What do you think? Do you know what he's talking about?
Yeah, yeah. Smirking Bear got it.
Mr. Smee.
SM33, Mr. Shmee from Peter Pan.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Shmee from Peter Pan. Yep.
Okay.
As soon as I heard them say SM33, I was like, huh? That's me. Smee's me.
Yeah. That's good.
Did
That's
you ever
good. I
see
like
that?
that. Yeah.
Did you ever see Hook with Robin Williams
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, Mr.
I
Smee.
know. I know Treasure
Smee.
Island.
What
Yeah.
about Smee? What about
Not
Smee?
Treasure
Smee's
Island,
me.
but I know Peter Pan. Yeah. I know Peter
Yeah.
Pan.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of cool. But then now there's those kind of vibes in there too, where we got like Peter Pan vibes.
Yeah.
Because like the kids were making references to in the show. They were making references to did you ever want to go on an adventure? Did you ever want to do something crazy? Did you ever want to do something out of the against the rules or out of the ordinary? And that was always like Peter Pan's thing.
Yeah.
Not wanting to grow up, not wanting to follow the rules, not wanting to do what he was told, not wanting to be, not wanting to be. He wanted to be a kid forever, but he didn't want to have to follow the rules of it. And that was a big Peter Pan thing. So when they said SM33, I went right on. Peter Pan, Captain Hook, yeah.
Very
So I
cool.
wonder, I wonder if they're going to have some type of character that's going to show up that's going to be a Captain Hook-esque type character.
That would not surprise me.
Yeah, it wouldn't. No, not at all.
Matthew says that dropping all the references to other childhood shows to really push the nostalgia and draw us in.
Well, they've done that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm good with it. It's neat to see all those types of stories brought into a Star Wars production. And yeah, with the kids in it as being the central characters in it, I mean, it's going to be cool for like younger kids to see because a lot of those younger kids aren't going to know those references, but they're going to see those stories. They're going to be like, "Oh, that's really cool," and then like the parents are going to know because the parents are going to be like myself and Steve and other people are going to be like, "Oh, that's a reference to this. That's a reference to this. Blah 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 blah." And then
Yeah.
they're gonna go, well, what's that? What's that? What's that? Da da da. And now you get to go back, and I get to watch with younger generations of Star Wars fans who are asking me about the show. I get to go, well, let's go watch the Goonies. Let's go watch Peter Pan. Let's go watch these shows, and you'll get to see where these references come from. And it's a neat little kind of thing that you can do that like if the parents get to watch it because it's Star Wars or because there is an adult theme but the kids are in there and you're getting all these references and all these Easter eggs and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's if they continue along this path and they continue to expand the story, I think it's really a good kicking off point so far, and I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a fun something fun and something new, and I really do kind of hope that we do see Hondo. I agree with Steve on that, and I do kind of hope that they do some tie-ins to see the tie-ins to the Mandalorian and Grogu movie.
Team meal.
Team, yeah.
what other Easter eggs did you notice in these episodes?
I mean, some of the obvious ones was I can't remember his name, but it was the pirate from the Mandalorian show. The one that
Oh, right,
survived.
right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was like kind of a more obvious one to me. I actually one of the things I was searching for when I was actually watching the show was when they were coming into the spaceport. I was looking at all the different ships that were in the spaceport because I was looking for something that resembled like a ship that we had seen before, and I only caught a glimpse of it because I was only able to watch the show like once. So I was only able to catch a glimpse of the ships, but as they were coming in, I'm like, oh, they're going to drop an Easter egg of a ship of some sort, and I thought I saw like an old Galactic Republic clone trooper cruiser, but I might have, but it might not be what I saw. I might have saw something different, or it might have been like a modified version of it.
Hmm.
So I mean, but yeah, I was looking for that kind of stuff. But I mean, the most of the Easter eggs I saw or anything like that was mostly just like I said, the nostalgic first part of the show, which had New Hope vibes, and then just a few other details from, like I said, from stuff that made you think of other shows.
Cool, cool. Um,
Matthew,
Neil, what?
fun
Neil
fact:
is Basil's. Oh, good lord!
fourth cousin is mom's family.
They don't look anything like it.
Matthew still has a Basil fetish.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
got a. He has a bromance with Basil.
hmm Bear's got a good
Uh,
point. Bear's
Steve.
got a
Yeah,
good.
I kind of agree with that as well.
hmm
Guardians of the Galaxy
Well,
vibe. Yeah,
the spaceport was like nowhere.
yeah,
Yeah, the
definitely.
spaceport gave me nowhere vibes. Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I like what Smirking Bear said. He says the little data girl was a sneaked in Star Trek reference. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I could go with a Geordie LaForge type person. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
definitely. Yeah. And the fact that her visor flips up and down, I thought her visor was going to be down throughout the entire show, but the fact that it flips up and down and she can do different things with that's kind of cool. That's kind of
yeah.
neat, little tech girl kind of thing going on.
Um, any I guess do you? I mean, it's kind of early in the show, but do you have any favorite characters yet?
Um, I know, and the only reason, well, I do like SM-33. He was pretty badass at the spaceport.
Hmm.
That was pretty cool to see him like kick some butt in the spaceport. I thought that was pretty neat. So as a droid, I do like him and being like a pirate droid. That's kind of cool. That's kind of fun. But I mean, really, honestly, the kids at this point, I like all four of the kids. They're um, from the one kid, I kind of get like chunk vibes from the Goonies, and I hate
Hmm.
to say that because I'm not trying to call him anything. I'm not trying to make that. He just kind of acts like him a little bit, which is kind of cool. Um, the girl kind of reminds me of the one that what's her name, the captain girl, the one that's kind of leading the whole thing. But anyway, she just has that, with her obsession with racing and things like that, and maybe not having the best home life and stuff like
Uh,
that.
Fern, I think is her name.
Fern, yeah. She has that wannabe racer, wannabe, death defying stunts and do stuff like that, which is interesting. That's kind of cool for a kid, especially for her age. She's into that racing, which kind of gives you that like the way Anakin was. He wanted to be a racer. He wanted to do that
Hmm.
kind of thing. So it kind of gives you that vibe. And then, like I said, the tech girl with her visor. That's kind of cool. What do you say?
Pirate
The
Strip
Pirate
Club.
Strip Club was cool. God.
Uh,
Oh, that's one Easter egg that I was thinking that I couldn't remember. The lady that was trying to convince them to leave with her because they weren't safe. That's the same species of girl that was in Jabba's palace. She was one of the dancers. Not specifically her, but it's the same species.
I thought the dancer was a Twilight.
Well, no, one of the no, not one. Okay, maybe not one of the dancers, but one of the singers.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. That when I saw her, I was like, she looks like the same species as one of the singers slash dancers in Jabba's palace.
yeah,
So yeah, that was kind of cool.
yeah.
And what were blah, blah, blah. That got me completely off on a tangent. Squirrel moment. Sorry, my bad.
Take a drink.
Take a drink. Um, and then the kid is kind of he in a way I don't know, this is kind of like way back in the past for me, but he kind of gives me that like that vibe of me when I was a kid. And when I saw the Star Wars movies, all I wanted to do was be a Jedi and wield lightsabers and
Yeah.
do Jedi stuff. So I
Mhm.
mean, it kind of made me nostalgic for myself because he's dreaming of Jedi temples and he's dreaming of being a Jedi, and that's what he wants to do as his career. Is he wants to do those things.
Yeah.
And it's made me think of myself. Is that when I was a kid, that's kind of my inspiration was watching the movies, seeing who Obi-Wan and Luke and all them were, and taking inspiration from that and applying it to my own life.
Hmm.
And so that was kind of cool. So I think each character in their way just brings something unique to the group. And like I said, the elephant looking kid, don't hate on me, but he's a worry word. He's funny. He kind of gives me that character archetype like Chunk from the Goonies, or like those kids that's always constantly worried that something bad's going to happen, is always freaking out, and just brings that little extra comedy to the group and that little bit of extra tension. So, I mean,
Yeah.
they all bring something to it. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how each of them grows and develops throughout the series and what happens to them and how they come full circle and that sort of thing.
So I'm surprised that nobody in the chat or you have mentioned Space Circle.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't got to that part yet. But not everybody, okay, Steve, not everybody is going to know who Urkel is.
Oh, what's your problem, people? Yeah, how do you not know who Urkel
Yeah.
is?
Okay. Throw it out in the chat. Throw it out in the chat. If you don't know who Urkel is, throw it out in the
No,
chat. No
yeah,
hate. No hate. We're not going to hate on you because you don't know who Urkel is. But if you don't know who Urkel is, and you need an explanation, we can give you one.
that's right, Matthew.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. There you go, Matthew. And I agree with his previous statement too. He says, "I'm 47. I still want to be a Jedi." All right, me too. Yep.
So I mean, he does, Bear. He does. He looks like a
Yeah, I
Ford.
100%. 100% gave me straight up Borg vibes.
Oh heck yeah,
And he's one of those people that when you see him as that guy, when you see him as Urkel, or if you remember him as Urkel and you watch that show, because I watched that show, I love that show. Um, Once you see him as Urkel, you can't unsee that.
you can't unsee him as
You can't unsee it when he talks. I don't care if he's got a beard and a freaking eye patch over one eye. You still look at him and go, "Dude, that's Urkel." I can't take him seriously. That's Urkel.
it's Urkel.
Once you see him as Urkel and then you see him as that, you're going,
So I think the one of the reasons that I really like the show is while I do personally prefer the Sith over the Jedi, when it comes to factions, we'll just use the word factions in Star Wars. Uh, I lean mostly toward the scum and villainy, and so we basically we're getting a pirate show.
mm-hmm,
It's a show about pirates, and
mm-hmm.
Matthew says he's waiting for that would be classic.
Oh, if he showed up, dude, I would freak out. That would be freaking yeah. Like
Yes.
they look at each other and go,
Who the actor that played Carl Winslow was in the holiday classic Die Hard that we talked about last week.
yes. Which is one of the reasons. Okay, now we're getting off on a tangent, but which is one of the reasons why I watched. Why I watched. It was Family Matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one of the reasons why I watched Family Matters because when I saw the pilot for the show, I went and I looked at it and I said, "That's the guy from Die Hard."
Yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah, I gotta watch
Yeah.
that. Yeah, Al from Die Hard. Yeah, Matthew,
Wow, that's
100%.
right.
It's Al.
That's
That's
right.
Al from Die Hard. I'm like, hell yeah, I like this character. I thought he was great. I'm like, I gotta watch this show. And then, yeah, Space Pirates, kind of like Ice Pirates, but in space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
there's
but
a
yeah, really, I
wonderful.
just like I like the scum and villainy of Star Wars, and this is good. This is good Star Wars. We got space pirates. I really hope we get Hondo Anaka. Really hope. Um, if there's gonna be like any treasure hunt aspect in the show, which it wouldn't surprise me if there's some sort of treasure hunt thing going on. It would also be really cool if we finally got a live action Dr. Aphra.
Yeah,
Personally, I think I would like that even more than seeing Hondo, but just by a little bit. Let's see, how old would Hondo be if he showed up in this show? Um, I don't know. What is the lifespan of a week way? Let's see. Oh. Now he might be dead by now. I don't know.
well, now, okay,
So
so
the internet says that the average lifespan is 90 years. So I don't know. Well, okay, Barry. So you say he was old in Rebels, but really how old?
yeah,
Like how
what are we
old would you
defining?
say
What
he
are we
was in
defining
the
as
Clone
old?
Wars? How old would you say he was in the Clone Wars? Like I'd go
Late 40s, 50s, maybe?
well, I would say early 40s in the Clone Wars, and then in Rebels closer to 50s.
Yeah. Which
So
means
you're looking at
by the time you get to now this is supposed to take place around the same time as like the Mandalorian, right?
Mandalorian, yeah.
Yeah. So he would technically, I mean, he would be
He'd be
definitely
old.
old. He would be old, but he wouldn't necessarily be gone. But this is the thing too, is that the Millennium Falcon thing that I have back here is actually is the Smuggler's Run version of it, and I think the events of Smuggler's Run I think is set after the events of the Fall of the Empire. So he technically was still alive by canon, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look that up real quick.
Okay. Um yeah, I would have to agree with Matthew on this one as well. I think Jod is going to double cross the kids. Um but we'll see. I mean, really, we don't really know. We might find out some more tonight.
Okay, so the events of Smuggler's Run from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge takes place between the movies The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, meaning it occurs sometime between the time frame between. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, so between The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, so and in that event, Hondo Anaka is still alive, so he
Okay.
would be alive. He would still be alive here.
So then it's not really that far fetched to think he's going to show up in Skeleton
No,
Crew.
it's not at all. I mean, he is the smuggler, he is the pirate, so there's a very good chance that he could show up. A live version of him could show up in the show.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd like it. I mean, I don't. I mean, I don't want to get too optimistic about it. I just and I don't want to be one of those people who says, "Well, it didn't happen, so I don't like the show." It's because that is a good point, Tina. The budget for his makeup would be up there.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people would like to see that though.
Yeah,
I think they could pull it off. I really do.
I think
So
they could do it.
it says 32 BBY, Hondo is likely in his mid teens to early 20s. 22 BBY, Hondo is likely in his mid 20s to 30s. And then 34 ABY, Hondo is likely in his 80s or possibly even close to 90.
Wait, could you read those years again?
Okay, this says 32 BBY, Hondo is likely in his mid teens to early 20s.
Okay.
22 BBY, Hondo is likely mid 20s to 30s. And then 34 ABY, after the Battle of Yavin,
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hondo is likely in his 80s and possibly even close to his 90s.
Yeah.
So that was just a quick Google search. So who knows?
There says
But that
Hondo
says look.
Anaka, the Jack Sparrow of Star Wars. Yeah.
Hey.
What?
I like those
What?
movies. I like those movies too. And you can't, well, okay, maybe you can. But
Are you trying to trash talk Hondo
I
Anaka?
am not trash talking Hondo. I'm just saying Jack Sparrow, he is not. Jack Sparrow is just Jack Sparrow. We can
Hondo
discuss.
Anaka is a true
We
hero.
can do a Pirates of the Caribbean series. In fact, I have a Sideshow collectible version of Jack Sparrow at the wheel of his ship that will be here. I don't know when, but it's supposed to be here anytime between now and like the first part of March. So
Interesting. Um, now I forgot what I was going to say. Uh, anyway, okay, let's get off the Hondo talk because I just wanted to say it'd be really great if he shows up in the
no,
show.
oh no, I agree. I think it would be
Um,
great, and
but I
Doctor
really
Afra
I
too.
overall I just really like the pirate vibe of the show,
Hmm.
coupled with the mixed in with the whole Goonies was a pirate movie essentially.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, all the elements they have mixed. Hondo Squirrel, what?
We had a scroll moment with Hondo.
Not really. It was kind of related.
I think it goes more than just the pirate aspect of the show and the smuggler aspect of the show.
Oh, sure.
The great part of it is that shows like this continue to expand the overall universe of Star Wars and how many places you can visit and the things that you can do and the thing and where you can go. And this just highlights more of that.
Yeah,
But it also kind of highlights the fact that after the fall of the Empire, pirate factions and crime lords and things like that really kind of filled the void where the empire wasn't anymore. These pirate factions, these smugglers and stuff like that, they all showed up and started just taking over. And this is kind of a kicking off point, or not really. I wouldn't say even a kicking off point, but this kind of shows you a kind of gives you an idea of what kind of delving into that world and showing what that's like to see these factions really start to run amok and start taking over ships and like killing people for profit, pirate style.
yeah. But yeah, I just think all the elements that so far they have put together um, are making for good Star Wars content based on what we've seen so far. Could get better, could get worse. We don't know. Um, yeah, Bear, I would actually like to see a few of those elements as well. Um,
Hmm.
Black, Crimson Dawn. It would be interesting. Well, by this time they're probably gone, though. I don't know.
Are they ever really gone though?
I don't know. they never really get into how long the Crimson Dawn lasted.
Hmm.
Because as far as like with the comic books, they were still around, and the comic books are canon, so they were still around between Empire and Jedi.
Hmm.
So yeah, I could kind of see Crimson Dawn in here, but definitely the overall theory or the overall idea of more criminal elements would not surprise me one bit. Um, man, so let's see. Any favorite moment?
Uh, I think so far, I think watching SM-33 or Mr. Smee, whatever you want to call it, him stepping in, saving the kids, and kicking some butt. I think that's probably my favorite. I think that's probably my favorite moment so far.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty neat. But then he got shocked and he got stunned, and then they got thrown in the brig, and then
Yeah,
we get
yeah,
introduced to Jude Law's character, and so now
yeah. I think that I mean I really think that the whole um, takeoff sequence and hyperspace suite sequence was probably my favorite moments. Because you got
yeah,
me and all the kids together, and the whole dynamic between uh, what do you want me to do with these these kids? Thought that
yeah,
she just becomes the captain. Like,
yeah.
I killed your captain. Oh, really? The robot believes that. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it will be interesting to find. I don't know if they're going to get into it in the show, maybe, but like, okay, where did the ship come from? Like, why
Yeah, how
was
did
it
it get
there?
buried there? How did
Why
it
was
get
it there?
buried there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Matthew, the little the little Vespa speeder bikes. Um, so not big giant regular speeder bikes. We got the little kid size ones. Those are
But
those are cool.
not just speeder bikes, but we got speeder bikes with passenger sidecars.
Yeah, yeah, with
That's
the
awesome.
sidecar. Yes,
That was awesome.
yes.
And he's
Oh
like, and they're
man,
sitting there lifting them like they're bikes, but they float in the air. I'm like, dude, that's like going back. That's where I got, honestly, that's where I got the Back to the Future vibes, was because when I saw those things, I was like, oh, come on. Not only do I want a hoverboard, but now I want one of these things.
yeah,
And I kind of got a little bit of the speeder bike forest of indoor chase scenes kind of thing too. Kind of got a little bit of that going on. A little bit.
yeah. Well, this is an interesting thought, Bear. Let's discuss this further. Show feels like an adventure versus a quest, like some Star Wars shows have been.
Hmm.
Um,
I would say it's not. I would say accidental adventure has now become a quest type vibe.
so like what? No, no, not like in
No,
Book of
no,
Boba
no,
Fett.
no, no.
Uh,
If they'd had those bikes in the Book of Boba Fett, I think I would have been more impressed. Because the Power Ranger bikes did not do it for me. And let's not make that comparison.
yeah. No, but Bear, like what? Dive into that a little bit. What do you mean by adventure? Not adventure, but like quest. Because I really don't see.
Well,
I didn't
it
really see
started
a.
out
Well, not Ahsoka. Ahsoka, yes. I really don't see Acolyte as a quest. I don't know.
well, and he may not have been specifically meaning Ahsoka or the Acolyte. He might have meant shows like Ahsoka or Mandalorian or stuff like that, not necessarily Ahsoka. But I mean, for me, I can see the kind of adventure versus the quest thing because it started out as they were being curious. It was an adventure to go check out this, what they thought was a temple. They were trying to see what was inside of it. It was a little kid's adventure to go exploring and blah, 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 blah. And now it's turned into how do we get home? How do we make it back where we're from? how do we get back? How do we get back to this place that nobody seems to know where it is, and it's supposed to be a mythical place anyway? Now it's become a quest to return home and hopefully do so without alerting the pirates where they're from. Yeah, there you go. Acolyte was a search for Thrawn, or no, the Ahsoka was a search for Thrawn, and Acolyte was investigating a murder.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I see that.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, based on that criteria, um, yeah, so far this is more like an adventure. They're not really, I mean, unless you want to say get back home is their quest.
Hmm.
Um, I
I
I
like.
would also agree with that, Matt. I think folks that are not necessarily Star Wars fans or hardcore Star Wars fans could get into this, especially if they are fans of, again, going back to the Goonies.
Hmm.
Um, um, I think episode five. What?
Oh, episode 5 is the best. Yeah, I agree, Taco.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, episode 5 in the Acolyte was the best. I agree because that was the lightsaber battle episode, and yeah,
oh, right, right, right.
that was pretty much peak for the show. That's when the show pretty much the whole pacing and everything about it changed. And I agree. That was one of the that was probably the best episode in the series. I agree with that. And that's why I said I think that this little space adventure thing is going to be cool. But when we're dealing with pirates, we're dealing with starships, we're dealing with that kind of stuff. We're not going to be dealing with, at least as far as we can tell right now, we're not going to be dealing with Sith versus Jedi lightsabers, anything like that. This is going to be kind of a Mandalorian style thing where it's going to be outside of the popular lore, and we're going to see an adventure that takes place in the Star Wars universe, but doesn't necessarily it just kind of scrapes the sides of what we would be considering traditional Star Wars by including species of characters that we know, and maybe even and hopefully maybe even some names that we've heard of, potentially Dr. Afra, maybe Hondo, maybe a few others, and you never know. It is the smuggler slash pirate world, so Matthew, I'm sure you'll get excited about this, and because you know who's still alive at this point.
Um,
I
Wicket,
mean, who?
Wicket, the
No,
Ewok.
that's not who I was thinking of.
Oh,
Certain a certain smuggler that we all know.
Han
Actually,
Solo.
correct. Actually, it could potentially be two certain smugglers that we all know that are still alive.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, we could see Hondo Solo. I don't know about Lando, but I mean, they are still alive at this point. Why not?
yeah. I
Yeah, I agree,
I don't
Bear. I
think they
agree.
will.
I agree, Matthew. I don't. Yeah, I don't think they will. I don't think that'll happen. But wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be awesome? I think it'd be kind of neat if they ran into the both of them. Like even if they just like bumped into them and you knew it was them. That'd be kind of interesting.
Lando, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if you like, if Han Solo and Lando were doing something and the kids bumped into him by accident. Even if they're not a prominently featured in the show, just bumped into him and said, "Hey, here we are," kind of thing.
Let's see. CEO says Hondo in Star Wars Outlaws DLC. I have not played the DLC yet. Um,
Lando is
Matthew
for
is
sure in the
waiting for
DLC.
the Basil Chronicles to drop. Uh, dear God, help us. Um,
That'll probably be a comic book.
that'll be what?
I said that'll probably be a comic book.
Basil?
Yeah, well, yeah, the Basil Chronicles.
God, I hope they don't
It'd
even
probably
go
be
there.
like Probably be like a kid's comic book or something. Bear says if that did happen, that would probably be the likely scenario. Yeah, I agree. It probably would be. They probably would not be like prominently featured in the show or characters. It would just be they bump into them, you know who they are, and then they go on about their day and their business, and that's it. Which I would be fine with. That would be okay. I'd be cool with that.
Um, so we should be right around the time. When is the next episode supposed to hit?
I think it hits at 8 o'clock. I think I can actually tell you.
We're getting pretty close.
Yep, yep.
Mm.
We're getting real close. I don't think it dropped. I think it drops at 8 o'clock Central Time.
All right. Well, do you have any other thoughts you want to discuss regarding the premiere?
No, no. Like I said, I'll just kind of reiterate what I said before. I'm invested. I'm interested. I so far I like the nostalgia value has got me hooked from all the '80s TV shows that I watched, and yeah. So I'm excited for tonight's episode. I'm excited to see what comes next. So yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
All right. Well, next week we will be back to discuss tonight's new episode of Skeleton Crew. Oh, pre-show theories is what Bear is asking. What
I'm guessing
maybe Alpha will show up.
maybe I'll, that would be funny.
That is the crossover we all need.
That's the crossover we never knew we needed. Well, you know what? I tell you what, here's the crossover that I think would be epic and would blow my mind is if Alf and ET are hanging out at a bar together. I'm in for that. Because ET is technically part of the universe too. So, but I don't know about Alf. I don't think Alf is.
I'd be okay with Alf showing up. That'd be pretty awesome.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah. So
Alf and
Bear, what do you mean by pre-show theory? Oh, you're talking about
tonight's
theories
episode. I
theories for
think
tonight.
I think honestly, I think tonight's episode is going to be them getting out of the cell, and I think it's going to be them trying to sneak their way out of the port because not only do they have to get out of the brig, and not only do they have to recover not only do they have to recover SM-33, but they also have to get on a transport, get to the ship, and then be able to get out of there without getting blown up. Because as soon as they came into the spaceport, you saw that there was a gun right at the beginning of it. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see. I think tonight's episode is basically going to be like an action version of them trying to make their way out.
Out of the jail.
Out of jail, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly I think that's what I think that's what we can I think that's what's going to happen tonight is just them trying to get out of there and trying to escape without getting blown up or anything else.
Do we know how long tonight's episode is going to be?
I do not.
Yeah, I don't know either.
An Alf club scene, jeez and Christ.
Disney can't handle Alf.
Strip club scene.
Oh my gosh, no.
I don't know, Matthew. I mean, I don't know, Matthew. We've got Deadpool and Wolverine now, and that broke so many freaking rules and walls for Disney. It's not even funny. So, I mean, I don't rule anything out anymore.
Definitely.
I mean, if somebody in Andor would have if the rumors were true about her at the end of Andor and her speech at the end in the hologram are true, that originally Disney was going to include the first F word in Disney history, but they decided to cut it out. I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah. I mean, so we do know what the name of tonight's episode is going to be. It's going to be called Coming of Age.
Okay.
Huh.
Hmm.
I don't know. Beats me. I don't know what tonight's going to be about. Could be anything. They could do a time jump and they're already out of prison and in the ship. There's no telling.
Yeah, there's no telling.
No telling.
There's definitely no telling. So we'll see. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, we'll see.
yeah, we'll see.
So yeah, go watch it when you get done here.
Hmm.
And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, like and comment, all that good stuff, and then be back next week for more news, thingies, and Skeleton Crew. And may the force be with you like a panther.